Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within. Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, inspire, and uplift women to be the goddesses they were meant to be. I am your co-host, Julietta, also called the Magical PT, and I am coming to you from hot and sticky Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And here I am, a holistic PT, where I work with both men and women, but my target audience is really women between the ages of 35 and 65 who understand the importance of keeping their body balanced and also looking at it as an entire whole, not, your shoulder hurts. We're not just going to look at the shoulder, because if your shoulder's hurting, other things are out of balance as well. So bringing full balance to not only your body, but your mind and soul as well. And in addition to healing bodies, I also create healing artwork and jewelry. I paint, I make crystal and gemstone malas and pendants and all that good stuff. And and I'm joined here with my lovely co-host, Allison.
Hello, everybody. My name is Allison Mancini, and I'm excited to be here today. I am a mom to two adult children, 25 and 22. I haven't shared with our audience. My son has a wedding date and location set.
Oh, very exciting.
Location was chosen last week, and they had a date by the end of the week, so I'm super excited.
Awesome.
It's very close to us, Julietta. Good news. So,
all right.
And we have a year and a half, so we have plenty of time. But I'm super excited about that. So, and then I have a daughter who's 22 and graduating college here in just a month. So that's exciting as well. I've been married for over 28 years. I'm a human resources director for the Gold Digger Girl, an amazing company. And I'm also a functional nutritionist. And that's really, for me, really kind of marries together everything I love. And that is my passion in helping women to be the best that they can be, especially when it comes to how they're eating, what they're putting into their bodies, because I know how important that is firsthand. I've been there when you don't eat well, and I know how that can do you no good. So I also have two dogs and a cat, and I'm a Midwest girl at heart. Lived in Michigan for a long time, but I've been down here way longer. So here we are, Florida weather.
We'll talk about that. This is where I've lived the longest of my life as well, but
same. Yeah.
Wisconsin's always home.
Yeah, so. I agree. So is Michigan. Yeah. So speaking of food and nutrition, so it's interesting because I get asked this question a lot, and I have to preface this first by saying to our audience, there are a lot of varying opinions on whether it is best to be a vegetarian, a pescatarian, eat beef occasionally. There's all you can pretty much find anything to back any of those positions up out there. So you do you and do what works best for you. You know your body the best. But I'm going to talk about, if you are a carnivore, what you should be looking for, because it is really important what you do put into your mouth. You have to remember that is where your body gets everything that it needs. It gets all its energy, it gets all its nutrients, everything that it needs to function at its best comes from your food. So when you're buying meat, and the puppy's going to start whining right now, just because he feels like it.
Feed me meat, mommy.
Feed me meat. Yep. You want to really, I tell people all the time, is you want to find grass-fed and grass-finished. So they are two different things. So what can happen with grass-fed cattle is they can be put into a pasture of beautiful grass, and they eat on that and they graze on that and they get all nice and big. And then they will move them to a enclosed area where they will then plump them up with grains. So you want them to be grass finished as well, which means that they are literally in a field eating grass all the way until they take them to harvest them. So it is really important. There is a difference.
So how do you know? Because I don't know that I've ever seen on a label that it says
They
grass
do.
finished.
They do. You have
say
to
this.
look. See, people only look at grass fed and they're like, oh, it's grass fed, which listen, grass fed's better than not grass fed. That's all you can find, go with the grass fed. But that's usually all people look for. They don't understand that there's a distinct difference between grass fed and grass finished. But you look closely, they'll say grass finished also on them. And you can look up, like, I personally love, because I don't like the grocery store and I'm lazy about it. I order my meat from Butcher Box. It's a great, delivery service. I get it every month. I get to pick what I want in it. They are grass finished, grass fed. So you really have to check the label, check with the company that you're using, but it really does make a big difference because you have to remember that whatever they eat, you're eating.
Yes.
So it's a chain.
Do they have a referral program?
Butcher Box absolutely does.
So send me your referral link. I'm going to check them out.
You got to check it out. And they also have wild caught seafood. They have heritage raised pork. So it's all really important. I mean, it is really important. I know people are like, oh, that takes so much time. Well, find somebody like me or somebody else that's a nutritionist that can just give you the information. You don't have to do all the research. That's what I do. So it is really important. It does make a difference. And I do know people that they literally feel differently when they are very cognizant of eating well raised and harvested meats. It can make a big difference. So
I can absolutely, it just tastes different.
It tastes totally different. A steak that's been grass fed and grass finished tastes way different.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with that lovely PSA, I'm going to let you go on, but my puppy is crying badly, so he probably needs to go out. I'm just going to step away for a brief second.
You go step away, and I'm going, because we have a new sponsor this month.
I know, it's awesome.
I need to read the commercial. Yeah. So our sponsor for the month of May is Bowtie Kids, Courage and Confidence for Kids with Chronic Pain. It's an impact-driven, for-purpose organization committed to enhancing the lives of youth suffering from chronic pain and their families. Its mission is to inspire courage and confidence in youth living with chronic pain and their families by transforming lives through personal development, community building, and gardening to build a sustainable quality of life. On May 26, you can join them for their Courage and Confidence Awards to celebrate and honor community leaders who have been courageous and confident in taking on their own lives to serve and support others. To purchase tickets, bid on silent auction items, or to enter the raffle, or just donate to support their work, you can visit them at www.bowtiekids.org. This is an amazing organization. I have been working with them, I think, for probably like 5 years now. And I've actually gone in and worked with the kids in the programs that they do there. And also have been to many of their events, and I will be there on May 26th at the present Courage and Confidence Awards. They're always a lot of fun, and I've also donated a raffle basket. Well, I don't know if they're going to use it for the silent auction, but I have a basket with a treatment session with me, one of my malas, some wonderful essential oils, and so if you're interested in getting that, maybe you need to come and hopefully you can win my basket. And with that, I know Allison is still handling puppy duty right now, but I'm going to bring on our guest. Hello, Erika. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
We are happy to have you. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. I'm Erika Borden, and I'm known as the Gritty Coach. And I'm originally from Texas, just outside of Dallas, and we're about to move back. So circle of life coming back there. Born and raised. 2 years into college, I decided to join the military with a girlfriend, and actually wound up becoming a Navy corpsman. Did 9 years with the Marines, 11 years with the Navy, and then wound up retiring in 2015. During that time, I got to meet my wonderful husband. We've been married 21 years this month, so very exciting. Yeah, we have 3 boys. Our oldest is 17 and about to graduate high school. Very scary and sad and wonderful all at the same time. And then we also have a set of twins that are 13 in 7th grade. So we are definitely a all boy family, queen of my domain. We also have 9 animals. We really love sets of 3. We're not quite Noah's Ark in that regard. We have 3 dogs, 3 cats, 3 chickens. So we are powers of 3 here. And after I retired from the military, I decided to work for the Navy again as a civilian for about 6 years and worked in pediatric residency program and absolutely loved it and learned so much about our doctors, and who better to surround myself with than pediatricians who can help me take care of our kids. And that has been just amazing. And I learned so much between the military and pediatrics. Like just the amount of information I could learn from them, it just really helped shape me into who I am. And then I decided to leave and actually start my own business. So that became the Gritty Coach. So I have a coaching program, and I love helping women achieve their goals. And I use simple strategies that I started using in the military to help me. I have ADHD and busy brain, always on the go. And so finding those strategies and holding yourself accountable and reaching those milestones is so important for everybody. And I, started helping women just in the groups that I was in. And I was like, this is so good. I just need to keep doing this. So that became the Gritty Coach. So the grit is all about resilience and making sure that you have perseverance, of course, but how you bounce back from challenges. I don't like to use that F word. There's plenty of others I use, but failure is not one of those. They're all challenges. And how you get up from those and keep going is truly the grit of it. And sometimes you just need to hear the hard truth. And so there's some little sandpaper love in there on, sometimes it's going to hurt and it's a little rough, but in the end, it's going to smooth everything out.
Well, this is wonderful. I think it's so important because nowadays kids with ADHD get diagnosed very early. But, when I was growing up, nobody ever heard ADHD.
No.
They were just bad kids who were misbehaving. And, we know so much more now about nervous systems, and this is a real issue that people are dealing with. And if they have the tools
Right.
to handle it, it's just, they can be so much more successful in life and be so much happier in life. So
and learning them earlier. I mean, for everything, learning, I really try to give it to our boys as much as I can, or as much as they'll listen. That's probably really the key of that. But really try to tell them, don't procrastinate. It's not something that we work well under. Well, I do well under pressure. I just don't prefer it. So planning in case things come up, and making sure you write a checklist and make sure you check it and that you're crossing things off and you feel successful, and, just strategies. They're so important.
Excellent. Are you ready for our questions?
I am. Oh, sorry. Something fell.
Well, we can still hear you and see you, so it's all good.
There we go. It wasn't important then.
So our first question, Erika, is what is one book that you wish every goddess would read, and why?
Honestly, the one that's had the biggest influence on me, I used to be a huge Covey fan, and now I'm sort of a John Maxwell fan, and the military really put me in touch with that one, and it's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It is amazing. And when I became a chief and was selected, which is E7, but we never say E7 in the Navy, the chiefs are the backbone of the Navy. They run the enlisted community and make sure that everything is getting done in the background, executing the orders of the leaders above them. And those laws of leadership were amazing. The law of buy-in, the law of the lid, the law of attraction. And so there's so many applications of that book in life, in business, in relationships that can be used. And the thing that was different for me with the laws of leadership versus like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The difference is you don't have to master one to go to another. And that was really helpful because I could have stayed at like level 1 in Covey and never have moved on. But with, Maxwell, you really just find those laws that really attract you, and then, or you find that you have the hardest time with, and then those are the areas you really try to work on. So that's like I think everybody should read that one. It's just sets you up in so many great places.
Yeah, it's very broad. So, some of the books that we recommend are just very narrow on one topic. And this is kind of, that way you have to read a lot of books. This way you can read one book and get one-stop shop.
It does. It does. Every law, it just brings it all together and really opens your eyes to how you bring people into your inner circle and how you can help them and how they can work together. Even though you may be a manager or in charge of them or ensuring that they get things done, it's how you are able to bring them in and really get them buy-in so that they want to do the things that you're doing and be on board with everything. And that relationship fostered is so much greater, and the loyalty and their productivity is so much better.
I love that. John Maxwell's got great, just overall great stuff. So that's awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, our second question to you is, what is your top self-care practice and how does it support you and what you do?
Well, my biggest self-care, actually, strangely enough, is playing badminton with our kids. Like we have a badminton net in the backyard. It's like a portable one that you can take camping or whatever. And our boys will get mad if I don't invite them. Like if my husband and I are outside, I've had them open the bedroom window before and like, why didn't you tell me? What's going on here? And so they literally will get off all their electronics, and it is amazing. And we are so competitive. I think that's just because I am playing with 4 of the boys. But so competitive. It makes it fun. There's trash talk. There's like laughing. Somebody gets hit in the head. There's things throwing, and the dogs are playing all around you while you're trying to play. And so it's just that, to me, there's so much laughter, and laughter to me is such good medicine. Mm-hmm. It's, that's your chicken soup for the soul, if you remember those books. And so I find that like just doing that for me is a recharge. Like it just recharges my batteries. I, not only get to spend time with our kids and my husband, and we're all together and we're laughing and we're having a good time and we're making so many great memories. And that is so important that just fuels me for anything else that I need to do. I know at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we're going outside. We're going to go play some badminton. Y'all up? I mean, and they're out. I think our oldest asked me last night, 8 p.m. I'm like, dude, it's dark. I can't see. Like I'm 47. I can't see the birdie coming down at my head. So we're not going to play it at 8 p.m. But thanks for asking.
I think, Erika, I'm just going to go out there and say you win the award for most unique self-care practice. No one has brought up playing badminton before. But this is awesome. I love it.
But it cracks me up because that was such a thing. I don't know if that was like a Midwest game or it was just a generational game. But when I was a kid, badminton was like, that's what we played. Like when I was little, our family, we had a badminton net in our backyards all the time that was set up and ready to go. That dang birdie, man, and me used to have a love-hate relationship. Yep. I remember that game well.
We have about 30 birdies and they're everywhere. I feel bad for our neighbors. So I'm sure that they have parts of birdies that fly off and land in neighbors' yards, and they hear us all the time. And I'm sure they're like, oh my God, the Bordens are at it again. They're playing badminton and it's so obnoxiously loud. But hey, we're having fun.
The cool thing about that game too that I love is that you can be really young and play it. Like I remember playing it when I was probably in kindergarten was when I first really started playing, 4 or 5 years old, because my whole family was playing it. And it's not something that, it's I still never got really good at it. No, it's not hard to hit. Right. Yeah, it's not. It's just a question of where it goes when you hit it is the other scenario.
Very true.
But
Very true. Yes. My boys have a tendency because one team always has to have 3 and the other has 2. Whoever's in the front is going to get pelted in the head. I will tell you, like, that is no doubt. They have an aim for the back of your head or your back, and then they're cracking up because they hit you because they think it's hilarious.
Of course. Well, you have boys. It's all boys.
Right. That's how it goes. Yeah. It's totally how it goes. But yeah, that is my biggest self-care practice. What it does for me in life, other than just keep me together and close with our family, I probably couldn't tell you there's something crazy amazing that has to do with like business or something great, but it definitely refuels and energizes me. So we really enjoy it. I hate winter when we can't play.
I would feel like whacking that birdie, like if you've had a bad day, it must feel so good. Because man, you can really hit that thing hard.
Yes, you can. And it doesn't necessarily go far if you get the ones with feathers. We've de-feathered quite a few.
Yes.
There's feathers flying all over
Everywhere.
our backyard
So
of
funny.
like birdie feathers. Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's insane. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to make me want to play badminton again. I'm going to have to make my
There you go.
sisters. We're all going to be together in November. Maybe I'm going to have to bring a badminton set. And oh, that's what I'm going to do. And we'll have to set it up and play. That'll be hysterical.
There you go. There you go. You can get like the traveling one. It's like $40 and a bunch of, birdies. You'll need plenty. And then like rackets. I mean, they've busted rackets. It's crazy. I've never seen so many rackets get busted as my boys can do. Even my husband can bust them in 5 minutes, man. They're
That's
very
awesome.
competitive. It's fun.
And I just have to apologize ahead of time. I may have to step away a few times. I've got a bit of a situation going on with the puppy here. It's a bit explosive, to put it mildly. So just letting you guys know. I'm sorry. I do not mean to be rude. I have to deal with it. It's going on outside in the background. So thank God.
It's outside, not inside. So
listen, thank God he was in his crate and he started whining and I took him outside. So we'll just put it that way.
Puppies. I love them.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So we all have difficult days when it's just tough to show up. But we got to get stuff done anyway. So when you're having one of those days, how do you rise up and get through your day?
So when I was in pediatrics working in the residency program, and I was a coordinator, so I was at all the meetings and really sat in on how they were training and grooming these young doctors that had just graduated med school and wanted to become pediatricians in the military. And the one thing that I listened to that I absolutely loved was growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And the growth mindset is really, it fuels you every single day and having that positive mindset. So even when the next day is a new day, like you slept, hopefully, and you get up the next morning and you just get at it again because you're ready for the challenge. You're ready for the uncomfortable. You're ready for whatever that day brings. And it's hard because I'm a really positive person. If I get negative, man, things are really not going well. We need to everybody all stop because there's something happening here if mom's not in a great mood. But I really just every day is new. I lost my mom at a very young age to cancer, and I really had to learn how to pick myself up every single day and get going. And, my dad was amazing growing up and really became my best friend, of course, until, my husband. And now I really have 2. And my dad was a positive person. And so I just know each day is going to bring something different. So you sleep off the crap that happened yesterday and tomorrow is new and we try again. There's no reason you can't try again.
Yeah, I love that. Every day is a new day. It's a new opportunity. It's a new life. Being able to let go of the past. So many people are just clinging to it and stuck to it, and it drags you down. So start fresh every day. It
doesn't mean that you don't let go of the past. It just means you stop letting it run your life, and you take a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
All right. Well, our next question for you is it my turn, Julietta? Am I totally lost? It is my turn, right?
It is. Go ahead.
Are we on question 4?
We are.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for you both being so loving. Okay. Question
Perfectly
4.
imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect. That's how we roll.
Fantastic.
What, Erika, what is, and we've all had a lot of life experiences, right, that we're dealing with, but what is a life experience that you think really played a big role in forming who you are today?
Hands down, it's going to be the military. It was not what I expected. It was not what we were. My girlfriend and I, she was running out of money, like to go to college and running out of scholarship. And for me, I honestly, my dad's probably never heard it before, but I've talked about it before, is I had an extreme fear of failure. I wanted to go to medical school. I was too afraid I wasn't going to get accepted or I would flunk out. So I just didn't apply. And so my backup choice then at that point was joining the military. Oh my gosh, I have like this sun shining right over my head. It's fantastic. It's
like you have a halo. It's
I know. I'm like trying to dodge it.
Okay.
I'm just going to roll with it.
Yeah.
As long as it's not in my eyes, And so I joined because I had that fear of failure. And so the military gave me instant success, right? I had a stable paycheck. I had job security. I was still in the medical field. I was a hospital corpsman. I went into aviation medicine. So I was doing flight physicals for F-18 pilots with my first squadron. And that was with the Marine Corps. I did not anticipate going with the Marines. That was scary. But when I went to training for field med school to go with the Marines, they require us to do 6 weeks of training. I was out in the field. Excuse me. I was out in the field and I had been through a bad breakup, had no money, about to travel. The breakup, like the guy took all the money I had and I needed to travel cross country. And life was just not in a good place for a 21-year-old, right? And this master sergeant sat me down one day and he was like, Doc, I just need to tell you, your life is like the fog of war and you just need to stop paying attention to all the fog on the side and pay attention to the path in front of you. And I was like, you are crazy. Like this, how do you relate my life at 21 to the fog of war and seriously expect me to like think that that's like really how things are? And I swear he's so smart. Like that is so true for so many situations, is if we tune out all the noise and the fog and we pay there goes the cat, pay attention to the path in front of us, then that's where you need to keep going, and that will keep you on the right path. It's when you start to listen to all that noise that you get lost in the fog. And so between that and then becoming a chief and learning all about Maxwell's 21 laws and using those principles, by far had the biggest impact on my life. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so many different things that have impacted, but like the role, like forming me as the woman I am. And, you know, my dad gave me the independence, like showed me how to be independent and take care of myself. Losing my mom also fueled that independence. And then joining the military against what my dad thought was better judgment at the time, but has since decided that that was like the best thing ever because I retired. You know, those all played a part, but the military by far had the longest piece of it.
Wonderful. My dad was in the Navy, and when I was in college, he was trying to get me to, you know, to do ROTC and it's just like, Tad, that's so not me at all.
Yeah, he didn't do it with me either.
But I also see how, I mean, for so many people, it is such a supportive outlet, and you know,
they teach you everything. They give you a paycheck. They give you medical and dental benefits. They give you money to live. Like they give you your housing allowance. At this point, I have my retirement and I still have medical, and I don't have to pay a ton of money. I have free education. And because I enlisted in the state of Texas, I have the Hazelwood Act, which gives me another 4 years of free education if I wanted to go back to school. which I'm now giving to our sons.
Wow.
So I can
That's
pass it
incredible.
down to them, and now they're getting free education. So there's an ultimate price that could be paid for that. And there are many that have, but if you do make it to the end, and the benefits are amazing, the things that you learn, good, bad, and indifferent. There's always bad, right? You're going to learn from both types. You're going to learn from the good leaders, the bad leaders. You're going to learn from everybody, and you take that all in and become the leader that you want to be based off of all of those experiences. And really, that helps you move into society after you get done with the military, right? And transition and having those skills. So the military has so much to offer, especially kids that don't know what they want to do yet, and don't know where they want to go, and don't have the structure and need it. That is the place to go, because I guarantee you it only takes once or twice to be in a sandpit in the up position for 5 minutes to realize you did it wrong and you need to fix it.
Yeah, I bet.
I spent a lot of time in the sandpit. My mouth got me in trouble a lot because I like to crack jokes in very serious moments. They were not impressed.
So I thought for a time we thought our son was going to want to go into the military. He didn't end up. He ended up playing hockey instead, which
there you go, an outlet.
Right. An outlet. Yep. But I actually had a couple of guy friends in high school that ended up going into the military. And honestly, I can remember even at that time, being at the age of 19, 20, thinking to myself, this was the best thing for them, because I'm not so sure where they'd be right now had they not gone into the military. And I have a strong suspicion they would feel the same way. Like they were going down a very, very bad road, a dark road. And that was really an option for them. And it really changed their lives and made them who they are today. So absolutely.
Yeah. My girlfriend got out after 8 years, but definitely influenced her. And she still lives here in San Diego. So I still get to see her. And she's originally from Longview. So we were in Tyler in East Texas when we joined. And now we still live in the same city 27, 28 years later.
And I have to wonder for you, it's got to be when you joined the military, it was not common for girls to be in the military, because you're a little bit younger than us. I mean, it was not as common. I think now it's probably a bit more so, but back then, definitely. Like that would have been something my girlfriends and I would have never said, oh, let's go join the military.
Right. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how we got to that. It was started out as the reserves, and then our detailer got us in for 5 years of active duty. It was insane. He was really good.
Obviously, he was a good salesman.
I mean, that's why he was recruiting. He was like the top district recruiter. And we became friends after that. And I babysat his kids when I got stationed in Pensacola. He was there. So, it was not a place necessarily for women. We were definitely trying to find our pathway forward and really into leadership, and making sure that, most men were very cordial about things and very respectful and treated us as equal coworkers. But there were definitely some in my early career where I really wish I had throat punched them.
Yeah, I bet.
So I definitely could have, but that would not have ended well either.
No.
But as I started to get further along, up until I retired, becoming a chief, definitely there was starting to become that equal amount of women in leadership. And so you really started to see us stand up and be equal with everybody around us, and really hold our own. And that set huge milestones. But there were definitely times I had people that worked for me that would challenge me as a woman and not want to work for female authority. And I definitely put the grit into that and had to make sure that they understood that where they were.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it definitely makes you a stronger person, no matter what, whether it's physical, because they're going to get you there too, or it's mentally. You will definitely get strength in everything that you need to learn and how they teach you. And that's an invaluable skill.
I bet. So to wrap us all up, if there was one thing you would want our audience to remember about our time with you today, what would it be?
Honestly, it's about growth mindset. I think to me, that is the biggest thing that we can walk away with at any point, is to know that you didn't fail at something. It was a challenge and you just need to redirect it. And when things like fear of failure and fear of success and imposter syndrome start to settle in, you need to rewrite the script, recognize it, and journal it out if you need to, but really start to get in that growth mindset, because the doors that will open when you're in growth mindset and you're positive and you recognize that you're going to keep going because you persevere and you have the grit, and you know that you just got to do it again. Like Thomas Edison, 10,000 ways to make a light bulb. It wasn't a failure. It was just 9,999 didn't work, but he kept going. And so having that that perseverance is key, and that all comes from growth mindset. Realizing that you can continue to practice and perfect and achieve, and waking up to that every single day, the doors will open in ways that you never could have imagined, because people will see it and feel it from you, and they want it.
Yeah.
They honestly want that for themselves.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today, Erika. It has been great having you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
And we also want to thank our sponsors, Bowtie Kids. Thank you for sponsoring us this month. And everyone, please reach out and support them. They are a wonderful organization. And thank you to our listeners. We wouldn't be here doing this without you. So if you've liked what you've heard today, please subscribe, follow, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And if you need to get a hold of Erika, Allison, or myself, check out the show notes. All of our contact information, social media, websites, etc. are in the show notes. And look at that sparkly smile.
Right, it's going to be really white here in a second.
All right. And with that, I want to wish everybody a magical day.